Hello everyone, welcome back to the next task number 44. In this task, basically we have to find the second largest element in the array. Okay, so this is just a continuation to the previous program that we have done. There we have sorted the element, right? So in this task, we have to find the second largest element. Okay, now if it would have been the largest element, then you just have to sort it, and once the array is sorted, you just find the largest element, right? So here you will do the same thing. Okay, so now in this particular task, you can do it in many different ways. Okay, so the first way that we are going to do in this practical is we are going to sort this array in descending order. Okay, and then find the element which is second largest, right? Or what you can do is you can instead of sorting, you can find the largest element directly with the help of a for loop. Okay, and comparing with the help of a if condition, right? And once you got the first largest number, then you can do another for loop to find the second largest element. Okay, or you can directly do one single iteration to find out the second largest iteration, but it will be a bit more complicated task. Okay, so in this particular task, we are going to use the sorting method. Okay, so since we already know the logic for sorting, it would be better if we use the same logic again here, so that we can complete this task easily. Okay, so now it will be similar to the previous program, right? So we will have array. Okay, let's get put a decent amount of size of 20, and let n be the size of the number of elements in the array that the user enters, right? Then I have just given a hint to the user what this program is going to do. Then here I am going to ask the user to enter the value of n and take the value of n with the help of scanf. Okay, so this still here everything is pretty straightforward, right? So now from here I first have to scan the array from the user, right? So for that we have already written a function, right? So we will use that function. So I will just copy my snippet over here. So this function is nothing but a simple for loop which runs the for loop from 0 to n, right? And it is simply printing this particular statement. Okay, and then it is scanning the values to the array elements, right? Okay, so that once we have that function defined, now we can call it over here, right? And we can just call it with the array name and array size. Okay, so once this is done, our input is done. Now next task is to sort, right? So for sort, we have seen in the last task how to do bubble sort, right? So I will just take that logic over here, right? So this was the logic behind bubble sorting, right? But if you look at it over here, it was sorting the numbers in the ascending order, right? So just to make it descending, all you have to do is just change this to less than. Okay, so the swapping will happen only if it is less than, right? So just by this small logic, now you have changed the sorting from ascending to descending, right? So once this is done, now we can use this function to sort our array. Okay, we will come down, sort the array, right? Let us say we sort the array a comma n, right? So once the sorting is done, the next step is, now our logic should be to find which which is the element which is highest, right? So the highest element is nothing but, since it is descending order, highest element will be the first element, right? So a of 0 must be the highest largest number, right? So that we know that largest, let's define that largest. Okay, and after the sorting we know largest is equal to a of 0. Okay, so we have found the largest as a of 0, right? Now obviously the second largest, let's define that. Second largest would be, if you think a little carefully, then second largest, some of you may write it like this, right? So the second element should be the second largest, right? But that is not always true. Okay, let's see how it is not true. Okay, so let's just print this result. Okay, percentage d, and I will just print second. Okay, so let's try it out. So first we will enter the number of elements. I don't know why. Okay, so 5. Then we will enter the elements one by one. So I have entered these 5 elements, and you can see the second largest is perfect 5. Okay, now let me run this again. Okay, it's taking too much time. Okay, in the second time what I'm going to do is, let's say 2 3 6 6 4. Okay, so this time what I have done is a slight modification. Okay, I have entered 2 6s. Okay, now the sorting algorithm will work perfectly. It has sorted, right? But the problem is the second largest is not actually, now here you are just finding out the second index, right? So if you find out the sorted array, you will see the first element is 6, the second element is also 6, the third element is 4, then 3, and then 2, right? Now because both the first and the second elements are 6, so that's why this particular logic gives you an error. Okay, so whenever the largest number is repeated multiple times, this logic will be a problem, right? So to resolve that, what you can do is you can just run a for loop over here again, and just do a simple trick. Okay, just run from I equal to 0. Okay, we need not run from I equal to, okay, let's start from I equal to 0. Okay, then I less than n and I plus plus, right? And what we're going to do is I'm going to check the elements. If we will also define the second largest, second also over here, right? Second is a of 1. Okay, we know this, right? Now if a of I is equal to second. Okay, so if the first element is equal to the second element, that means our this condition is not true. Okay, so this particular logic is false. So what we have to do is we have to make the second element should be equal to a of I plus 2. Okay, so if I is 0, it will be I2, right? So that means a of 2, right? That means it will become the, I will take the third element as the second largest, right? So now what happens with this logic is, so you are doing you are checking this, right? If it is not, then you are assigning the third element, or basically the second largest element as the second element, right? That means let's take an example to understand this better, right? So let's take this example. Okay, 6 6 6 4 and 3. Okay, so this is the sorted array that we have got. Okay, so basically after this command, this after running this function sort array, we have got this particular result, right? So now what happens is, if you run these two expressions, these two lines of code, then basically you will have largest equal to 6 and second largest equal to 6, this 6, right? So now it comes over here and does the checking whether a of I, now I is 0, right? So a of I, that is this, the first element, and the second element, that is a of 1, that is this element, is these two equal? Okay, if these two are equal, then basically what I'm doing is I'm putting second is equal to the third element, right? That means the current I value plus 2, that means this value. Okay, so this is getting stored in the second. Okay, then again I'm going to check whether a of I, now this time I will be incremented, right? So I am at this particular location, right? So I'm going to check this and this, right? So this 6 and this 6, that is a of 1 is equal to second, and here again these two are equal. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that particular I, that is this particular I is 1, right? This I plus 2, that means 4. Okay, so 4 will be stored in second. Okay, so now again in the next iteration I will be 2, right? So a of 2 is this particular value, and second is right now 4, right? So is a of 2 and 4 equal? If it is not equal, then what I should do, I should do an else, and then I should simply break. Okay, so if I do not break, then this loop will continue on, right? So we do not want it to continue. As soon as we find a value which is not equal, then that is our second largest number. Okay, so we have got the second largest number here, 4. Now our result will be perfect. Okay, let's try it out. Okay, I have not defined I here, right? So let's define I, declare I. Okay, and we, something is wrong. Okay, I forgot to remove this. Okay, let's run 5 elements. Let's try to give that, and you can see we got the perfect result. Okay, so even though I have entered 3 6s, still it gave me the perfect answer, that is the second largest is 4. Okay, so I hope you have understood how I have tackled with this particular task. We will see you in the next task.